Welcome back. Well, when putting up your assets such as a car or land as collateral when taking a loan, how do you ensure that you do not lose your asset? Betty Kiptum spoke to Gilbert Tochi, the contact center manager at Ngao Credit, on how to responsibly borrow using your assets as collateral. And that will be the last story that we have for you this night. For me and the rest of the team, we do want to wish you a very good night.
A very good evening to you. Thank you for watching Prime Edition. My name is Betty Kiptum. We'd like to get into an interactive session and discuss how to responsibly put your collateral on a loan. Have you a car or a piece of land and you'd want to take a loan on that particular asset? How do you do it responsibly? How do you make sure that you do not lose that particular asset? And to have this conversation is Gilbert Tochi, who is the contact center manager at Ngao Credit. Thank you very much for speaking with us. And maybe we could start with you telling us exactly what Ngao Credit does.
Ngao Credit is an organization. It's a company that was started in 2009. We've been 15 years in the industry. And that one is an advantage I'll explain later. But we deal in mainly logbook finance and other financial solutions. And we have 9 branches across the country, but also in case you are in far-flung areas like Wajir, you can access our financial solutions even from there. Yes.
So Gilbert, tell us, what should someone consider before they put up collateral on a loan?
Okay, we do have various forms of collateral. You've mentioned title deed. That means that someone has land. We do have vehicles, in that case logbook. We do have payslip. That means salary. Other forms are like, we do have other forms like livestock and household items. But in this case, let me focus mainly on the collateral that we dwell on mainly, which is logbook. And for the logbook loans, the first thing that you need to consider is, what do you have? What type of car do you have? Some of our competitors have completely declined giving loans against old cars, 2005, 2004 Toyota. You have that 2005. You can bring it on board, fortunately, and you will be able to get a loan against it. As well, you need to consider the term. How long are you going to repay this loan? Is it 24 months? In our case, we do have even 1 month up to 24 months. And one of the things, even 36 months when you are acquiring a vehicle. And one of the things I do advise my customers is, you need to check, because we do have offers that limit the number of months you can take a loan. If we're told, for example, 24 months is enough, but there are those that have 12 months, for which case you are going to pay a very huge installment per month. So that is one of the other things that we need to check. And we also need to check the terms and conditions, because not everything is the same. For example, I can tell you that 2% is what you'll get in interest rate. But when you look closer, it's not 2%. It's more like 9%. That is the feature we have across the board with our competitors. But when you compare Ngao Credit, we have a transparency policy where we keep everything above the table.
As someone takes up these loans, of course, we cannot really predict the future. How do you ensure that you're protecting the customer when tough times come, when they are not in a position to repay their loan in the time that had been agreed upon?
One of the things that I believe is that things do not go wrong, they start wrong. When onboarding a customer as Ngao Credit, we do come up with ways during the time that we are interacting with our customers, before onboarding, we analyze your financial statements and we give you a recommendation of what to take, okay? But I believe that you don't have to take our recommendations. Sometimes we can recommend that you be giving 100,000 per month for a given loan. But my belief is that when you go and sit down, you know where the shoe is pinching you, okay? And you need to analyze your income and your expenditure, household level as well as in business, so that instead of taking the 100,000 per month repayment that I'm giving you, you can even take 50,000, so that it's far below what I'm recommending. That way, you can manage, even during tough times, you can manage. But even then, even with the repayments that maybe you cannot reach, during that time, we do give our customers sufficient time to repay their loans. And one of the things that is said out there is that if at all you cannot repay our loan, then you cannot repay anywhere. Because one of the things that we do, apart from just advising you on the installment, we give you a clear repayment plan. This is the plan. There's a difference between installment and me giving you an installment and me giving you a repayment plan. I'm glad that most of my customers, they stick with the repayment plans that we have agreed on. And this has resulted in a very low conflict. Our conflict is very low, very low, and we have been able to add value to our customers. Then, during the repayment period, you might be paying, say, 50,000 per month or 100,000 per month, and you've spotted an opportunity as a business person. You've spotted an opportunity, and you do not lack, you do lack sources of income or sources of money, sources of capital. And you imagine maybe taking most of our customers out there, whenever they have a loan somewhere and they need some top up or some money to satisfy their need, maybe an opportunity, they normally end up in Shylocks. This is a very sad situation. We at Ngao, we have prevented that by coming up with a product so that even when you are paying 100,000, you can take up another loan. This one is a short-term one, where you are given a 2 months breather, so that now on the third month, when you are up on your feet, you can pay. For example, let me just take an example: 100,000. What if I give you 100,000 today, and for 2 months I tell you just pay 10,000? On the third month, you can pay the 100,000. If at all you look at that, it's one of the way that we have been able to get and satisfy our customers' needs as Ngao Credit.
A lot of Kenyans are stuck in a vicious cycle of debt. They are borrowing here to pay here and borrowing there to pay there. How do you advise someone who is maybe stuck in this cycle and they want to get out of this debt situation they are in?
Okay, that one needs a thorough examining. And I would like anyone who is stuck in a debt cycle, it's not the very pleasant thing to be in. And I would like one to sit down and analyze his spending. Where does he need to cut? But also think of ways to increase their income. So one, at Ngao Credit, we have an opportunity. If at all maybe you are stuck maybe with your financial institution and there's nowhere to move back and forth, you can come on board. We will buy off that loan that you are servicing. Maybe you have 2 or 3 loans that you are servicing. You take one and consolidate your loans so that you can pay only one loan. Stick with us, because at the end of the day, we do have many products that can satisfy your needs as a business and as well as an individual. So sometimes, let me just give you an example of one of the customers that came on board. the other day. He had taken a car, and for that car he was paying 90,000. And one day he was just passing by the kitchen, and he found his wife dividing a 500 milliliter of milk into two, so that he can use one today, one part tomorrow. So he said, I had not encountered poverty in my own household until that time. Then he came over. We were able to reduce that from 90,000 to 50,000 repayment for his car. That way, he was free. Now he could attend to his household needs on a daily basis, and at the same time, attend to other projects that he has. For example, he had a house that he needed to build, but he wanted at least a breather so that he can have his house finished. So at the end of the day, we do have product at Ngao Credit. We do take care of our customers' needs.
You say that you put all the information on the table for the customer to be aware of what they're getting themselves into.
Yes.
Could you just tell us what risks exist when someone puts up collateral on a loan? Could they lose their asset, whether it's a title deed to land or their car? Could they lose it in the process?
I would want to focus now. I think I have said that mainly Ngao Credit dwells on logbook loans.
Yes.
And yes, there is repossession. One of the things that can happen when we have defaulted for a long time, and maybe you are not communicating. One of the things that I advise most of my customers is communicate. Repossession is one of the hardest things that can happen to you. And this is a situation where we want to avoid, all of us want to avoid. And we have deliberate ways through which we have avoided this repossession. One of which is we do advise when onboarding the customer, is we do advise our customers to take what they need. The other thing that I would like to advise customers is during the time that you are paying, it's good to communicate with your relationship officer. We've had a situation where we have this notion that customers do have, especially those that are coming from our competitors, that if at all I fail to pay even one day, my car is going to be, they're coming for my car. But when they cross over to Ngao Credit, they realize, hey, the channels of communications are working. Your relationship officer is your best friend when it comes to Ngao Credit. Because this relationship officer will come up with a repayment plan with you, agreeable. A repayment plan during that time. And then number two, as a result of your communication, he'll advise the management, this is the way, this is why this customer has not paid up to this date. Would you mind to come up with an alternative way? That way, we have stayed with our customers for a longest time. And I'm glad you've asked that question, because that is the separator between Ngao Credit and our competitors. Yes.
From an industry perspective, what would you say should be done to improve the policy and regulatory environment of the microfinancing industry?
To be honest, the world of microfinance right now is filled with people. I think institutions, businesses have started up, very many of them have started up. It's good as a customer to do due diligence. Including asking, for example, Ngao Credit started in 2009. We've been there for a long time. And as a customer, you would want to ask yourself, how long has an organization been there? So that before you can borrow, you know exactly what is this institution I'm going to borrow from. That's number one. But again, I get it that there is need for regulation. And I'm glad you've asked that question, because Ngao Credit is regulated by CBK, which means that we have signed up ourselves up to certain practices. And our books of account are accessible to the CBK. Our directorship is on the limelight. So everybody is above board. So that's one of the things that we've signed up against as Ngao Credit. Integrity is above board and transparency is above board. But again, I would want to, because this thing has brought a lot of heat. Of recent, I think you have access to a newspaper article about microfinance that had presented 2%, but then their customers are staying for a long time before clearing their loans. You literally check your balance. You take a loan today, 2 years later, say you take a million, Bob, from that microfinance, then two years later, you check the balance, it's 1.2. What have you been paying? What have you been paying? So at the end of the day, I would like, again, for the regulator to check these interest rates that we are touting around. Because the 2%, when I tell you 2% here, it doesn't mean 2% for our competitor. So we need us to compare apples to apples. There's need for comparison between apples to apples. Because I can tell you 2%, but when you look closer, it's more than that.
Are there any programs that you're undertaking to ensure that you are imparting financial literacy in your customers and even the community? Please share some of them.
Okay, as Ngao Credit, we do have a marketing team that is very deliberate on financial literacy. We've organized campaigns, and we have done TV interviews, including this one, where we have discussed on financial solutions that we have, but also we've gotten feedback, and we have, especially for our customers that are in business, I've already advised you on our niche, mainly from business community. So we have come up with Bingo Nights, an event where we exchange ideas. And the good thing is that we have already come up with 3 products that are in the kitchen right now. We are going to come up that have captured the needs of our customers. But also on social media, we have our YouTube channel, and we have organized last month, we did a Twitter space where we got feedback from the public on logbook loans and our financial solutions. Yes.
How have you used digital technology to ensure that your customers have a good customer experience?
Okay, one of the things that we have done in our 15 years of existence as Ngao Credit is to look at what is needed out there. And the thing that we noted that is mostly wanted by our customers is a digital platform. And we developed that digital platform. Right now, as a customer, within an hour, you can access a loan from Ngao Credit.
Please share your closing remarks and what your message to the customers of Ngao Credit and people who want to put up collateral on loans would be.
I believe that anyone who has ever taken a loan is a development conscious person. The same applies to our brothers and sisters who have acquired their cars through loans. So I would want to encourage out there our customers and those ones who are stuck to come on board and take up our products and interact with our financial solutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gilbert, for sharing your thoughts. That is Gilbert Tochi, who is the Contact Center Manager at Ngao Credit, and we've been talking about how to borrow responsibly, putting up collateral on loans, your do's, your don'ts, and how to make sure that you are not losing that particular asset even as you borrow on loans. And what we've learned, you can actually expand your business through loans, even if you're cash strapped at the moment. Thank you very much for watching KBC Channel 1. My name is Betty Kiptum. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Bye-bye.